Hey, how's everybody doing? It is a Friday evening. Yes, you are not having deja vu. This is the second time that we're on this week, and I'm just excited because I have an amazing guest this week, and you got to be ready. You always got to be ready. You know, I'm coming with it. Now, listen, if this is your very first time catching our podcast, which is the Stay Out Your Lane podcast, my name is Dr. Anissa Ferguson, and I am the creator and the host of Stay Out Your Lane, the podcast. Now, you can always be assured to get four things every single time that we are on. The first thing is what? That's stories. Stories from people who have not only had success, I've also had some struggles as they're building themselves and branding themselves and branching out and literally staying out of their lane, whatever that means for them. Now, the second thing you can always rest assured you're going to get is an offer. We always offer some type of actionable to do. What I never wanted to do, I go to so many events and so many different things, and I get irritated because I'm excited for a second, right? I'm excited, I'm motivated, and then I haven't done any of the work because I haven't really gotten a concrete deliverable. So usually we try to make sure that you have that. The third thing is to yield. You got to be willing to yield to the greatness that's inside of you already. And so that's what we want to maximize on this show. And last but not least, L, to leverage. You already have what you need inside of you. It's up to you to leverage what you have. And on this show, we work to help bring that out through guests that we have an array of different outlets and different industries. And so today is no different. We're going to have a special quick chat with none other than Shawntia Jones. Who is Shawntia Jones? Well, let me show you guys. Let's see if I can bring this up for you. She is the owner, founder, and CEO of what? Promise Quest Sisters. Let me see if I can move. Can I move my head out and just put her there? No. Yeah, well, actually, you can't really see this great there. Let me see. Good. I'm playing around. We got a new platform here, so I just want to make sure you guys can see it. It's an amazing, amazing platform for both girls and women. It's an empowerment group. And she's going to come on and she's going to let us know all about how she got started, her amazing background, and all the things that she's doing to blaze the trail across the United States for young girls and for women. And I don't know about you, but as a mom, and not even if you're not a mom, but for moms, but people who are guardians, like aunties, play aunties, real aunties, grandmas, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you are chiming in tonight because she's going to give us some jewels about how we can best love on our babies. You know, society is so hard, it's so rough on us sometimes. We want to make sure that we're equipping ourselves with everything that we need to bring these babies into the world that knows that they are loved and that they are cared about. So without me running my mouth anymore, what I am going to do is bring into the scene Miss Shawntia Jones. Let me bring her in. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Good. Thank you for joining us on a Friday because I know this is one of those days, if you're like me, the baby girls are like, it's Friday, Mom, it's time to turn up with you. What are we going to do? Oh, you said sleep?
Yes, I let them play, and the baby is at least asleep. Okay.
Well, how old? Let's start with how old are your babies, first of all?
9, 5, and 2.5.
Okay, see, that makes total sense. That makes sense because they're younger and all that. But before, I feel like I jumped the gun. I want to just first, again, thank you for being on the show. You are an amazing leader. You are a thought process person. You just really kind of pull people in, and I'm really excited about that because what you have is so needed in the community and all the things that we have going on in our society right now. I'm really excited to hear your story and have you share your story with those who are watching and those who will watch. Hey, Shelly, thanks for joining us. Amazing. She is amazing. Shelly's such an awesome person. She's also a mom and a new grandma. This is her first full year as a grandmother. So congratulations, Shelly. So we want to hear from you, Shawntia. Please let us know
what do you want to know?
Yes, first of all, we want to know everything. Okay, I'm just telling you, we want to know everything. But we're going to get started with, what is your background? What lane did you find yourself in that you decided either you wanted to switch from or you wanted to branch out and dominate multiple lanes at the same time, which is all about what we're about?
Yes, well, actually, I have a background in the nonprofit sector for many years. So I worked with a lot of big time nonprofits. And the last nonprofit that I was with, we actually, our grant actually ended in December in 2017.
Okay.
So in that grant, I'm at home. I'm like, okay, I'm at home with the babies because,
Mm-hmm.
when you had that third child, whew,
Girl, I haven't even graduated that far. I'm gonna just tell you, I
okay,
stopped at
look,
school,
when
so I'm
you
gonna
get to
stop
the third one,
at
you're
that.
like, okay. So I'm at home with them now,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I'm working, dealing with my children, and they were having some issues. As some of the girls I used to work with at my previous nonprofit. So back then, I started a mentoring group, and I named them Promise Quest Sisters. So
Okay.
in 2016, 2017, we worked with these young ladies, to with their self-esteem, different activities with them in the school setting.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so sad, we had to leave in 2017. There's nothing I could do about it. So I was like, okay, let me just go home to the babies. And
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that they were having some of the same issues and
Okay.
concerns as the girls that I was working with in the group. So one of my daughters, she was having issues with her confidence and with school, making
Mm-hmm.
sure she could do what she wanted to. She was having a struggle, especially with the
Is
reading.
this
reading
your older
yeah,
child?
yeah. My
Okay.
oldest one was having issues with being confident and with her reading, especially. And
Okay.
my middle child at the time, I remember vividly. I was going upstairs. She was sitting in my chair, looking in the mirror, and then she says, "Well, mommy, Sissy looks better than me because she's lighter than me." Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I was like, "What? You're 4 years." At this time, she was 4 years old.
Wow.
She
That's
was
that's heavy
she
at
was 4 years
4.
old.
That's heavy, but that's heavy at 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but as you keep
In my
telling the story,
mind,
can you do me a favor and tilt your screen down because everybody wants to see your shirt. They're asking to see your shirt. Yes,
okay,
it's beautiful. Can you? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Awesome.
there we go.
Perfect.
So when she said this to me, I'm like, man, like the first thing that thought in my mind is like, okay, don't cry in front of her. Okay.
Right.
Two, I said, you know what? God made you perfectly how you are. You need to make a promise to love yourself and be who you are. God makes us
Yes.
all differently, but He made you and you are perfect.
Yes.
And and I was just thinking to myself, man, I can't believe like she said this. When you're working with other young girls, you're like, okay, I'm working with them, but you never realize that now it's at home. So now I have to do it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking to my husband about it, and he was like, "What?" Like he couldn't believe it either. He's like, where did she get that from?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, society, maybe
Mm-hmm.
somebody said something to her, but that's
Yeah.
not something that we teach her in our house." So I was like, you know what? I thought about it. I was talking to my husband next few days, and we always wanted to have an outside business of our own.
Okay.
And sometimes you just gotta listen to God, okay? Because
Always, honey. Always.
well, yeah, I know. I
Always.
said sometimes, always, because sometimes when you don't listen, that's when you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
so
listen, you bring it back around, but we don't want to have to always go through that.
yeah, so I was like, okay, let me think about it. And then I said, you know what? God spoke to me, and He said, no, promise to love yourself, promise to love others, and promise to be me. So those are our slogans. Our slogans
Mhm.
of our brand. I promise to love myself. I promise to love others. I promise to be me. And we started as a
Beautiful.
self-esteem brand for apparel and accessories because I didn't know which way to start. I was
Okay.
like,
That's
should I
fair.
go back into my nonprofit world? Should I do a corporation? So I was tugging
Mm-hmm.
for a few days of that, and I said, you know what? Let me think. I did not want to go the nonprofit route only because of situations that I've seen in the nonprofit world. Their nonprofits are great, but the ones that I've seen, like different
Mm-hmm.
things, I was like, okay, I don't want to go this route. Let
Mm-hmm.
me do something different. I didn't want anyone to control my business. I didn't want a board to tell me yes or no. I didn't want somebody to kick me out my own
Yeah.
nonprofit.
Well,
So
you
I
know
said,
what? That was funny. I was going to ask you about that. Why? Why? Because of your background. And we'll kind of circle back around. But why? Because of your background, and you have to share with folks what your background is in regards to the nonprofit world. But why, when you started, did you, because you have this background in the nonprofit world, what made you feel as though that's something that you didn't want to do and you decided to go as a for-profit business? So I'm hearing from you basically, for those of you who are out there watching or watching the replay, nonprofits typically have to have a board of directors, right? And this board has to be either consistent totally or at least majority, depending on the way they set up their bylaws. So what Shawntia is explaining to us is the fact that she want to have autonomy. Girl, don't tell me you're trying to micromanage the people. No, I'm just being funny. No, but I totally get it. Like there's times where you just want to make a decision and be good with it. Whatever that
yep,
decision is, I
yep.
understand completely. So which one
And
did you
then,
start with? The apparel, or did you start the mentor? I know you mentioned mentoring, but and it morphed into Promise Quest Sisters. But once you became Promise Quest Sisters, what did you do first? Did you do more mentoring, or did you do more tangible items like shirts and all the fun, beautiful things that you have?
yeah. So when I first started, I thought of the name years ago.
Okay.
So that was
This
like
this was
2000.
something that was being birthed in you for a
Yeah.
while.
So I had no clue. This was like God just has his own way of just working it out because I had no clue. So back when I was at the nonprofit I was working with, it was a mentoring group. So it was Promise Quest Sisters, the mentoring group, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was set up differently because we were like, helping with at-risk youth and helping with their attendance. So it was a little different how we set it up to hit some of those goals for the young girls. But
Okay.
then, it transitioned because we were working with ages the girls who were in third grade to fifth grade back then. But
Okay.
my baby's 4 years old and she's talking about she don't, Sissy look better than her.
I know that had to
So
break your heart. I know it had to break. It's
yeah,
breaking my heart, and I mean, this is in the past, and they already have you, but just to hear it from these babies, it's so hard.
yeah, and so now I'm like, okay, now it needs to focus on them. How can I
Mm-hmm.
help build them up? And so that's why the youth that we primarily work with are from ages 4, because that's the first time she said it, to 13, and that's the elementary school and middle school age.
Okay.
And the reason why I started with shirts is I didn't know where to start. Okay,
Okay.
I
That's
had
fair.
a friend, I had a neighbor, and she had a Shopify store. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, well, let me just put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Girl, they are
And
awesome. You know what? I'm going to actually pull up one of your shirts here so people can see how your babies look. Isn't that awesome?
yes, yes. So yes. That I mean, and even starting out in the beginning, when you're first starting your business, you don't know what you're doing. So you're going to make a lot of mistakes and you learn a lot of lessons. But after learning how to do different designs and um, being mentored by different people, then we came up
Mhm.
with this design right here, which is our main design with I Promise to Love Myself, that which I
That's
actually designed myself.
congratulations. It's really
Yeah.
nice. You know, it's to the point, it's simple, it's clean. It's
Yep.
something that girls can resonate with, moms love. And what I like about your business, and I encourage people to go actually to your website, and let me go ahead and put that up because I want people to really engage with what you have going on, is the fact that you really include women. You know what I'm saying? You include women as well. And that's encouraging because, like I said, as a mom, sometimes, as they continue to grow, and you have from 9 all the way down, to like 1.5. So it's important to grow with them. And it's
Yeah.
important to, like, as they mature in different ways, that you embrace them at those different stages. And sometimes that's hard. Like, even for myself, like, as my daughter continues to get older, I'm kind of like, okay, now she's into certain things. Now I got, okay, now she doesn't want me to do these other things. I said, okay, I'm like, all right, so we're not doing that. What you wanted to do just last year or last month or yesterday. So you want to pick out your own clothes. Yeah.
I know.
And you want to comb your own hair and you don't even know how to hold this comb right. Okay. All right. Okay. This is what we're doing. So I understand. And I think it's so much about your character and who you are to be able to respond to your child that way. I'm not sure if you caught our episode yesterday, but we had a lady on who has served a sentence, and she cited the reason that she started getting into the things that she got into was because of exactly what you're talking about, which was her self-esteem was really low. Yeah. And she didn't think even in that moment that she had low self-esteem. So what I commend you for, of course, obviously take the ball and running with it with what your children have like verbalized that they need, but you didn't just push it into the background. And they're so young. They're so young, and you're taking the opportunity to say, I'm not just going to shush it away. This is important. You are important, right? You is kind. You is beautiful, right? I is kind. Yeah. No, but you really took it seriously, and I think that that's so important. That's so important.
And I say, I'm not going to procrastinate. I was like, all right, once I decided what I'm going to do, I was like, okay, let me incorporate. Let me do it right now. Let me get all my stuff together. Because I wanted to be official. Like, we just going to do it. Okay. So they were like, what's going on? Okay, mommy. Like, but I'm so glad that I did it. And I'm so glad I listened to God, because he definitely saw a vision for me that I didn't see. And he prepared me with all this nonprofit work all over these past 6 years to lead me where I am today.
Correct. Yeah. And he's not going to give you a vision that he's not going to give you provision for. So I'm a firm believer that even as we're trying to find our way and we're trying to mold ourselves into what we think we are, like I said, you can make all the plans you want, but God is the one who actually makes those steps come about. As long as we're obedient, like you were saying. He gave me this name a long time ago. Isn't that something?
Yeah, I know, and it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. He gave it to me, and then I remember being in my nonprofit. I had to fight to get my mentoring group started. They were like, "I don't know, we don't know about this." I was like, "No, I'm telling you, this is what it should be called. This is what it's gonna be." I wrote the whole plan for it. I was like, "Come on, let's go." And they were like, "No." And then they eventually was like, "Okay."
But you know what? That's the thing about when you have a vision. I've seen these memes and posts and stuff all over the place, but they say and this is no disrespect to whomever said it, but one or two things. Either you can't tell your big vision to smaller people, and that doesn't mean like their stature or how they love you. I don't mean that, but God gave you the vision, and sometimes because of the way He wants us to focus and to lean into God, into Him, He'll only give it to you. Where even sometimes, perhaps even your spouse, the person that's closest to you, may not see it. I'm not saying that's your situation, but there are situations I've heard of where, seriously, people will not get it until you serve it, and you serve it to a place where you're so confident in it. All the things that you're showing them, you're selling it also to everybody else. They feed off of your energy and your positivity about it, which is exactly what you're showcasing for these girls. Which I think is beautiful. Besides the fact that you're an amazing Howardite, we didn't even go there. Fellow the real HU for all of my Hampton folks. And I have a lot of friends that went to Hampton. they're gonna be inboxing me later. No, don't try it. No, absolutely. Right here in Washington, D.C. What years were you? Well, maybe you don't know. Let's not answer that unless you want to. I was gonna say I'm gonna date you.
Deacon David, 2006. That's when I graduated. Okay,
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, listen, I had a later life experience there, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But I graduated from pharmacy school there 4 years later. So
okay.
Be that as it may, that's almost 10 years ago. I can't even believe it's almost 20 years ago. So speaking of which, what are some of your goals and things that you want to do in 2020? Because we're like fourth quarter 2019. It's like you going to run or what you going to do?
Yeah.
You have some events coming up.
I do. So we try to have monthly workshops because we also want to build that community and just have girls come out with their parents. So this isn't just like, hey,
Drop them off and go.
drop them off and we rolling out. Like, no, like parents are here, parents are involved, parents are learning, parents are doing the activities with us. And the great part about it is your daughter sees you doing it. So they're like, okay, mommy, I want you to do it with me. Or they just see it like, oh my gosh, they just see, I don't know the correct word of it, but they see you in a different light.
Absolutely.
And it's awesome because, like you said, we all have different issues throughout our life, but usually self-esteem isn't, to me, that I found out or that I've researched. I don't see a lot of nonprofits or different brands that typically target the range that I am. I see them targeting middle and high school. But by then, if you get them when you're in elementary school, then maybe they won't have those issues in middle and high school. But there's a lot of programs.
Question at 4 years old.
Yeah, and which I would have never thought that she would say that.
How many years would have gone by? I'm sorry, I don't feel like I'm over talking to you. I'm just like energized by that because it's so true. You think that kids don't? I'll say you, but we don't give all the credit that we should, right? Because they're smarter than we give them credit for a lot of the time. And so it's really important. And when you hear them and voicing certain things, we gotta really pull it together.
They're so smart. They are so smart, man. You're like, really? Like, what you talking about? Like, so the great part about it is we have some exciting events. So I'm going to be speaking I talk about our event in October. It's October. Let me get my calendar out. I think that's that 5th. Oh, there you go. Bam. He's always prepared. So October 5th, we're doing our Promise Love workshop in Laurel, Maryland. And this part we will be doing a vision board. So it'll be good for the girls. You don't have to, bring anything. If you do have some magazines, you can bring some magazines. But just bring yourself. We'll have food there for you. We'll have Sisterhood for you. And it's just to really get to know each other and build each other up as sisters as well. So we have that going on October 5th.
Quick question, how can people register for this?
Yes, they can go to Eventbrite, and if they type in Promise Quest Sisters or our Promise Love Myself workshop, they can register there. They can also register on Facebook. I have an invite there, or you can go to Instagram. The link is there as well. So that's at Promise Quest Sisters. So you can do all of that right there. So please register.
You are on it, girlfriend. You are on it.
I'm trying.
No, you're not trying. You're doing. You are doing. And I think that you're leaving a beautiful legacy, not only for your girls, but for girls in general. With all that you're doing and the time that you are putting aside and all the energy that you're investing into these girls, I think is beautiful. So where else are you speaking?
So on October 12th, that following Saturday, I will be at the Girls Who Brunch tour. And yes, I'm really excited about that. I will have a workshop there. So on October 12th, and those tickets, if you go to Girls Who Brunch, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook. You can register there. I believe that their target range is for girls starting off at 9 years old. So the tickets, the tickets are very inexpensive, and it's such a great time and it's such a great event. And I'm super, super excited about that. Oh, there you go, at Girls Who Brunch. And I think it's at Girls Who Brunch Tour. Maybe.
Okay, let's add it.
Don't quote me on that one. And also, the great part is now I have my 9-year-old. They are now doing our accessories, so they are making bracelets.
Beautiful, little entrepreneurs in the making.
Yes. So I know. So they will be starting. They will be making their bracelets. That says "I promise to love myself. I promise to be me." So they're working really hard on that. I'm super excited about that, and they actually have their first their vendor event on Sunday. I don't have the exact
Nice.
time.
Where's that?
It is going to be, oh, see, now I gotta look that up.
Okay. But if they can access it through your social media, I can post that again. That'll be really
Yeah,
nice.
so I'll put it up. I'll put it up on social media so you guys can check it out. So they're nervous, and then, this is
Aw,
good though because my oldest is like, well, I can't do it. I can't. I'm like, look, you can't say you can't do. We don't use cat in the house. Okay,
that's
number one.
so beautiful.
Number two, like you just try, just do your best. She's
Mm-hmm.
worried about whatever. I'm like, look, we're just gonna go out there. Somebody's gonna like it. If they like it, they'll get it. Okay? Don't worry about the people who don't like it. We don't worry about those people.
Exactly.
We worry about those
Yeah.
people who do like it. So I'm just
Oh,
really excited. I want all young girls around the world talking about why they love themselves. And I really want it to be a conversation starter. Like
okay.
the shirt means like, well, why did you make a promise to love yourself? Why do you love
Mm-hmm.
yourself? Because we're taught to say, oh, you should love yourself, but why? Why do you love
Mm-hmm.
yourself? You know? And if you start thinking about it, it's like, well, why do I love myself?
Well, what kind of answers do you typically get from either your kids or from other kids that you're mentoring? What kind of answers do you get when you ask them, like, why do you love yourself?
Or a lot of them now, like, a lot of them say, well, I'm special because I was created by God. They
Mm-hmm.
love themselves because they're smart, they're
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, they're
Mm-hmm.
unique, they're not made like everyone else. So just to get them thinking that
Yeah,
you have to, like, God didn't intend you to be like everyone else. He intended you to be you. And I
absolutely.
think that's really, really important because then they can realize as they get older, like, I don't have to be like that person who's on social media who looks
Mm-hmm.
this way because it's
Mm-hmm.
a different age now. It's not like how when we were growing up, you didn't have all of this
Right. It's
social
true.
media stuff
It's
and,
true.
oh, I want to look
And
like
that's an
them or I want to
adjustment.
look like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So you don't have, but now it's like, oh, it's everywhere.
it
So I'm
is.
trying
It's scary. Do you agree? Like as a parent, I feel like sometimes the social media aspect is a little scary. With your
oh, it is
kids having
scary.
so much access to things, even in their games,
Everything.
like they can be live and they could be playing with
Uh,
people you don't even know. Like I literally sat with my kid, well, my son especially one day, and literally had him go through his whole list of whatever friends that were on there. And I was like, okay, do you know this person? Do you know? Yes, no, no. I think we probably erased like 60 people of the 75 list. Okay, so you only need 15 people out of the whole 60 people. No, why do they want to be your friend? And I'm not saying it's not
Wow.
another kid, perhaps, but how do I know it's not an adult posing as a child?
Yeah.
So
And
it's
that's
just a lot of things.
and I think as a parent, you have to you can't take it lightly. Sometimes our kids like, oh, you're doing too much. Well, let me do
Mm-hmm.
too much. Okay,
Well,
I'm
let me
okay with
do
doing
it.
too much because
Same.
it's a lot. You got to protect them while you can. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a new day and age, and now you have
Mm-hmm.
to adjust to the new day and age. And another
Mm-hmm.
thing, why it's so important with this main saying of loving yourself is if you love yourself, you will love others. And a lot of things that go on now as far as bullying kids, and I mean, really, I've seen adults do it worse than kids at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day,
Yeah.
why would you talk about somebody else and talk about how they look or talk about how they're different?
Mm-hmm.
That means you have some issues within yourself because you don't
So,
love yourself.
exactly.
Because you would treat your neighbor as you treated yourself. So you would never want someone to talk about you in a negative way. So you need to uplift them. And the last
The
saying is, I
word
want to
says,
be
girl.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Just be who you are. Like, don't get mad. Like, if you like to do science and math, great. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you like to do. If you like to do basketball, that's what you like to
Do
do. You
you?
don't have to be like anyone else. You have to be who you are. And that's why it just, to me, it just comes together. But it all goes back to loving yourself first.
Yourself. You are so right. And it's so funny because I posted two things. Well, one, my daughter just wrote a book about bullying. It's coming out. I think it'll be next week where you can download it, but to be able to purchase it. But it's about anti-bullying. And the reason that we started with that book was because very similar to your story, where your daughter was talking about how she whoever made her feel this way, but not feeling pretty. we're having a conversation, and she's telling me about a scenario at school where one kid is picking on another kid and all this stuff. And so I started asking her questions because now Mama Bear is kicking in,
Right,
and I'm
right.
saying, yeah, so who's messing with you? And what, like I want to, she's like, no, nobody's messing with me, but she has this compassion for other kids. So it was really cool. And we just started talking. We had like a whole conversation about it. And so I'm asking her questions like, well, if somebody's bothering you or bullying you, what would you do? Who would you talk to? I said, maybe we should write a book. Maybe we should put this down. And she was like, okay. So we started making notes, and now she has it. So what you're saying is absolutely right, as far as that's concerned. And so I think that that's really important. But then this post that I put up, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it says, and I don't remember the name, so the name's gonna be wrong. The name's gonna be wrong. But it was something like John is imitating Sam. Sam was imitating Don. Don was imitating the first guy. So basically, it's like a circle. So you could just be who you are, because everybody's just trying to do the best that they can. So funny. Shelly said, this is so true. She said, if you love yourself, you will love others. You're right, Shelly. You are so right. Shawntia, you're right on point.
I'm and another, it's just true. Like you would never say anything mean or bad, because for me also, God created everything. So how you gonna talk about something that God created? How you gonna talk bad about something that God created? Like if you really like, if you really break it down, like how can I talk about you? I didn't create you, God created you, and how dare I even mention that?
Absolutely.
You gotta have some compassion, man. Just everyone's different. You gotta just love on people, love on yourself, and love on people.
You do, and what I think people don't really realize, and I know everybody has different views, and I'm not trying to impose on what people believe, but I do believe in Christ, obviously, and my Lord and Savior. But it's just, if people start to think about it, where they realize that we're all connected,
yes,
that we're all a part of this one body that has different functions. All of us have different gifts, right? Different talents, but they all come from the same spirit that pushes those different gifts into the world. When we think about that, and we think about the importance that each and every body has, we would love each other more, because when I hurt you, I'm hurting myself.
Yep.
Very true. Says free. But when it's so true, when you hurt someone else, you really truthfully are hurting yourself. And that's what I tell the kids too, very similarly to you. If you talk a certain way about other kids, think about how that's going to feel to you.
Yep. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it.
You're not going to like it. And it doesn't feel good at all. It doesn't feel good at all. I'm really excited to talk to you. And I feel like if you would have us again, that we can have you on another time. And I want to do something special. I'm not sure exactly when, but I'm thinking, because I kind of put in notes that maybe we have our girls on. But maybe we can do a special episode with the girls once they have some more of their items, the bracelets or whatever it is. And I'll have my daughter with her book. And we can just kind of talk about some of these things. I think we can pull that together. Now, listen, see, tonight is my wedding anniversary, as you know.
Yes.
So my husband is like, girl, how about you gonna love me? Are you gonna love me today? Because this is our day, girl. So I thank you so much for just your patience. And, like I said, I had a crazy couple of months here, but I've been so excited to get you on. I met Shawntia a few months back at a business event, and it's just so amazing. Her personality, the whole premise of her business, it just really moved me, and I'm excited to get her story out to you guys. And so, Shawntia, I want to give you an opportunity to if you have some closing remarks for everybody, but if not, we're going to make sure we put up your website again, because I may even try to bring my daughter. I have to see my calendar, but I may try to bring her out to that event. I think it's something really important for all young girls to get involved in, just so they can understand what it is to love themselves and to love other people.
Yes. So yes, thank you so much for having me. Of course, like I'll be having some upcoming, things going on in the new year in 2020. I don't want to speak on it yet, but a lot of great things are coming. And when I thought about your daughter, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have your daughter speak on, my potential podcast. That yes.
Yes,
that we
mother.
will be
Yes.
doing. Yes, yes, because I want our girls to have a voice. They're going to have a voice, and they're going to speak up and speak out because
Yeah.
you can't silence the children. Okay,
You gotta
they
keep
need
them
to
out.
have a voice. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, thank you everyone. If you have not joined our movement, make sure you get one of our shirts. I promise love myself. We have others on the website with different accessories too, with pillows, all the phone
I
cases,
saw you like book
everything.
bags and everything. That is so beautiful. So they
Yeah.
walk into school talking about I love me. So don't even come with
Yes.
that. I
Yes. I
love
love
it.
you. Oh,
Let me
yeah.
see if I
All
can put
day.
up their cover photo. It does have your a picture of one, at least a partial picture of your book bag. Let's pop that.
Yep. Trademark. So I'm working on some trademarks. I'm getting finalized. So I'm just super, super excited about
We
where
can
we're
cheer you on.
going.
Wow. That's
I'm like,
major.
and
That's
and
major.
yeah. So once it's finalized, I learned. And the crazy part is when you're going to business, for those who are like, oh, I don't know, I should go to business by myself. You're going to do all the work in the beginning, but it's okay. I learned how to fill out trademark applications. You have to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to do your own sales tax, all these different things,
Say it.
but it's worth it in the end.
It is. Listen, a lot of people want to be in business. They just don't have a clue, but
It's
that's
worth
okay because I think another important part of this podcast is that I want people to know that they can do it though. Like, don't look
Yeah,
at it like it's so momentous that it's not something that you can't get over. Tons of people have done it before you, tons are going to do it after you. I say if God gives it to you, the
yep,
vision, like I said, He's gonna give you the provision and just step out on faith. A lot of times, what we got to do, we're scared to jump out there. Yeah, you're going to get some bruises along the way, but those are the things that teach you about what you need to do and how you need to do it. That's just what life is all about.
that's right. But girl,
Yeah,
you need
well,
to
I
get off
appreciate.
and enjoy your anniversary.
I am, but I will tell you in this moment, at this exact moment, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm excited to be able to spend this time with you to pour into those who are going to watch it afterwards, those who are watching now. Thank you, Shelly, for all your comments. I really appreciate for you joining us today. And on a Friday, like I know, like just kind of out the blue. We normally on Thursdays, and we did meet up yesterday, but this was really important. I didn't want the week to go by without having you on. So thank you so much. Thank you all
Please
who are
go to our
watching.
website, promisequestsisters.com.
Sure,
Promisequestsisters.com.
absolutely. Let's get them up one more time. That's
Promise.
promisequestsisters.com.
Whoop, whoop.
Awesome. Have a good night. On purpose with purpose. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again for being our guest. I really appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Bye,
Bye-bye. Have a good
everybody.
night. Thank you, BJ. Appreciate you.